Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for the starting 11 prediction for Wednesday's first leg against Nomme Kalju from Estonia in the next round of Champions League qualifying. You'll need to bear with me this week. I'm struggling with a bit of a sore throat, but we'll see how it goes. We'll start in goals, as we always do. Scott Bain is obviously going to continue as the number one in there. That brings us on to the defence, where we've obviously got this right back headache. We've still not got one in the door in time for this tie, so it's going to be Christopher Ajer based on the two games against Sarajevo. So I think it'll be Ajer right back. Centre half this time I do expect to see Christopher Jullien, so I think he'll play alongside Jozo Simunovic. We can't keep playing Beaton, we can't keep putting a centre midfielder in at centre half, so I think the quicker Jullien plays and gets some game time and gets up to speed, the better. We know that the harder ties are coming with Cluj or Maccabi Tel Aviv in the next round if we get past this one, so we need to get Jullien up to speed as quickly as we can. It'll be interesting to see how that works as a partnership, Jullien and Simunovic, if that is to be the pairing. I think we all think that the long-term partnership is going to be Jullien and Ajer, but we'll wait and see how it goes. Obviously, you'd expect Ajer to continue at right back until we get someone in. I noticed that Simunovic has been linked to moves away again, so it'll be interesting to see how that one develops. On the left back, ball and goalie, I expect him to continue there. We know that Kieran Tierney's still out, so he's the number one in there. I thought he kind of split opinion last week. It was strange really, because there was some people who thought he had a great game. We know that he made the mistake for the goal, but other than that he was okay, and I think going forward he looks brilliant. He looks very positive. He's got a lot of pace. He had a couple of chances he probably should have scored as well. So I think there's a lot of positives to take away from his game. There is that sort of defensive lapse that might be there that we'll just need to iron out. I think as he learns how we play and he gets to know his teammates, then that should get better as well. So ball and goal at left back. In the midfield, Brown and McGregor, I expect those two to continue, obviously. So important for us in there. I thought Brown was very good defensively in both legs against Sarajevo, and Callum McGregor obviously got his goal last week, so he should be full of confidence. And again, he was really good the whole 90 minutes last week, aside from his goal. So a lot of positives from him last week. He'll continue, and in front of him, Ryan Christie, who was the man of the match, I thought, by a country mile. We talked about him at length in the post-match pint last week after the Sarajevo game. I think he's got absolutely everything, and I think if he can put it together more often, we've seen it last season. His season was interrupted by injuries, which is really unfortunate for him, but when he puts it all together and he puts in a good performance, like, you can see that he's got so much potential, so much ability. He scored a great goal last week. He also got he played the pass into McGregor for his goal as well. I thought he was a constant threat, and there's so much more to come from him, and if he can do it more often in these big games, in the European games, in the derbies, then I think we've got an absolutely cracking player, and we've got so much more to come from him. On the right hand side, it will be James Forrest. I don't expect Shved to start. I know there might be a wee section of support that would love to see him start, and I'm excited to see him as well, but I just think that's James Forrest's position. We might see Shved if he's fit at some point in the game, but James Forrest will start out on the right hand side. I don't think he's looked particularly sharp so far in pre-season or in the two games against Sarajevo, so I don't know if, again, it's just a case of him getting up to speed as the games go, because he had such a good season last year, but he hasn't looked brilliant so far this season, so hopefully he's got gears to go through, and the quicker he gets to that level that we've seen last season, the better. On the left hand side, we've seen Lewis Morgan start there last week. We obviously switched him and Forrest about midway through the first half. I think we've talked about it at length in some of the content as well in the summer and last week, that Lewis Morgan has impressed. He's been good in spells. I think he's had a very positive impact in the friendlies, and obviously the away leg in Sarajevo he came on to great effect and set up Sinclair's goal. I thought he was very positive last week as well, but I don't think he's done enough to continue out there. I think Mikey Johnson's going to be back, and if Mikey Johnson is back, then I expect him to start on the left hand side, because he has been the standout from pre-season, and obviously we've seen in the first leg against Sarajevo before he came off with that injury. What a good player he is. A constant threat, so direct, a goal. He's got a goal in him as well, scored a great goal that night. So I expect Mikey Johnson to play on the left hand side, provided that he's fit enough to start. And up top it will be Odsonne Edouard. Maybe not his best game last week. I thought he linked up really well with Christie in the first half. He done brilliant to set up the goal for Christie with his footwork into the box. I thought he worked hard. I think he as well, even though we've seen in the first leg against Sarajevo his quality in front of goal, he'll be getting up to speed as the games go by as well, and he's massive for us. I think it was good to see Griffiths back. He came back to a great reception last week against Sarajevo, and it's so great to have him back after everything he's been through the past 6 or 7 months, and he'll be huge for us. I think Neil Lennon might eventually experiment with playing him and Edouard together as a partnership. I don't expect to see it in the qualifiers though, so Edouard will lead the line, but it's great to have Griffiths back. And again, like a few players in the squad, if he can get that match sharpness up as the games go by, then he'll be a huge asset for us, and particularly off the bench in games like this, because he's a constant goal threat. That's the team I think Neil Lennon will pick on Wednesday night. Let me know what you think. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're approaching 16,000. It'd be brilliant to get over that milestone this week. We'll be back on Wednesday night after the game with a full-time reaction, the Twitter reaction, and then the post-match pint from the Corinthian. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday.